Ryan White took his daughter fishing and she caught her first 3 bluefin tuna. The only question left is, will she eat the heart?
There he is. Yeah! There we go. Get it over with.
Just take a bite.
Just do it.
Take a bite.
Fast.
Take a bite. Do it fast. You got it.
Go fast.
It's not bad.
Yeah!
Chew it. Chew it.
Spit it.
You're good.
Spit it out.
The El Patron operates out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California, and they have a slew of 1.5-day trips where you'll fish with only 10 anglers on board. Bluefin tuna fishing, yellowtail fishing is outstanding in Southern California, and there's no better way to do it than on the El Patron. 310-832-8304 or visit 22ndstreet.com. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California, here in Southern California, sandwiched between Seal Beach and Huntington Beach. It's a foggy morning, but it's still gorgeous. There's very little wind, and man, is there some really good fishing going on in northern Baja and Southern California, and we're going to get into it all with you right now. First of all, on the lead-in, Brian White takes his daughter fishing. She catches her first 3 bluefin tuna. Congratulations, that is a feat in and of itself. What a great catch. Then she eats the heart. My hat's off to you for doing that. And also, the most beautiful part about that is the bonding, is the special relationship that Brian is forging with his daughter. And this is the kind of stuff we love to see here at Friedman Adventures, getting kids away from all of the junk that's here on terra firma and getting them out into the great outdoors, where they learn a lot, they have great experiences, and they create memories for a lifetime. Brian, way to go. That is great stuff. All right, we've got so much to cover with you, but before we do that, hit that like button, please. That really helps us a lot. Subscribe to the channel as we zoom toward 10,000 subscribers and well over 250,000 hours of content consumed by all of you. Really appreciate it. Share these videos. Remember, we're on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you like to listen to your podcast. It is always great to spend time with you, and I've got to take you south of the border, first of all, to talk about the Ensenada area. Down there in Ensenada, we continue to see some hit and miss fishing on the bluefin tuna, but a lot of great local fishing. There's yellowtail, there's barracuda, there's rockfish. There's all kinds of great opportunities if you happen to miss on the bluefin, yellowfin, and that little poke of Dorado. It's almost like I don't want to mention it because it's nothing you can bank on, but there's been a few flatheads taken down there, and that warm water push from El Nino is still coming. It's still pushing YFT into our zone, and that will not scare the bluefin tuna away. What it will scare away is any hope of albacore, which most of you sensible, logical people have said, there's not going to be any albacore this year. This guy's nuts. 3rd year in a row, he's going to be wrong. That's me, by the way. So we'll see. But the water's still cool enough where albies could show up. And, of course, we've got all this other really great stuff happening with sand bass and barracuda, stuff that we haven't seen for many, many years. And I believe it's a result of the cold water. But that regime is going to change with the El Nino when things warm up. And that's what we're going to see. For the time being, however, great calico bass, some really nice barracuda fishing. Louis Prieto on It's For Reels, R-E-E-L-S, sport fishing in Ensenada. Had just a great mixed bag day yesterday. Over there at Blackfin Sport Fishing on Punta Banda, they had great bottom fishing. So you're going to go home with some really great eating bottom fish. And don't count your surface opportunities out. It has been slower, no question about it. But I think things are going to change for the better here on tuna and all kinds of other great stuff moving in with the El Nino. Just taking a little bit of time for this cold water regime to change. We'll keep our eyes on that. All right, down there in San Diego, my God almighty, they thumped them. Now, they may not be the biggest grade bluefin tuna right now, but who cares? They are biting full speed. Remember, limits is 2 fish per rod per day. 2 fish per angler per day, and we saw some outstanding fishing. Pacifica, 30 guys just missed limits with 59 bluefin tuna. Highliner, a 1.5-day trip. Day and a half, love those trips. 24 guys, 48 bluefin tuna. The Tribute, 33 guys had limits of bluefin tuna. The San Diego, a boat that leaves in the morning, comes back later that evening. Tremendous day with limits on the bluefin tuna. And man, those guys work so hard and do such a great job. That is great to see them slamming the fish. So some really good stuff. Pacific Islander Rick Russell with not only a lot of bluefin tunas, you can see. Great job, Rick. But man, guys like me have been in this for a long time. I love seeing all that rockfish, man. Great eating, fun to catch. And that combo is still mind-boggling to me. Catching limits of bluefin tuna at one area and then going and loading up on the rockfish. I don't know how you can beat that kind of a trip. Now, on this bluefin tuna, lighter line has been really king here. 25-pound fluorocarbon, www.opsonusa.com. That works really well. Put in FA at checkout, and you'll be notified when, or no, you won't be notified. You'll get a free gift. What am I talking about? Put in FA at checkout, you'll get a free gift. Remember, a belly hook bait works really well, and changing that bait regularly. First of all, taking the time to choose a really good hot bait and then changing that bait regularly works really, really well. Now, some of the long-range boys and other guys are still in on some great nighttime fishing, although that has been very hit and miss here recently, but there is some good scores and great fishing at night, and that's when you catch your bigger bluefin tuna predominantly. Generally speaking, your big bluefin are going to come at night up to over 200 pounds in some cases. Once in a while, you'll hook one of those big ones during the daytime, and if your crew is seeing that stuff in the day and they tell you to switch to heavier line, or they tell you you're crazy to go in the water right now with 25, listen to your crew. They know better than me. They know best of all. Those guys are on it. They work so hard. You want to pay attention to them. Back to the nighttime. About a 300-gram jig works really well, but sometimes you'll have to go to a 400-gram jig. Daiwa SK lures are good ones. All kinds of other knife jigs work really, really well. The Katy Perry Rip Roller has been a very good one. The guys on the Pegasus, Jacob Barclay, always talking about how good that is. So keep that in mind. And you don't want to be fishing without a 2-speed reel or at least 100-pound Spectra, and I like 130. So keep that in mind, the bigger ones, and that really great constant action down there. We're already hearing boats and stops this morning doing very, very well. So excellent stuff. Hey, you know, I work the Orange County Fair. I work at Baja Blues. I'm a bartender over there. We start again Wednesday, but I got to tell you, and this gentleman I hope is watching. I can't remember his name. He walks up to me with a straight face and looks at me and says, "Hey, how are you?" I said, "Hey, I'm good, man. How are you? Welcome." He says, "Yeah, you got any of that albacore pale ale back there?" And I was so tired and so busy. I go, no. And then I look at him and he's just busting up. He goes, "Dude, I listen to you every morning. I had to get you on the albacore pale ale deal." So my hat's off to you. You nailed me good. That was a good one. All right, great fishing in San Diego. Some guys are missing, of course, but most guys are having some phenomenal fishing. And here during the week, of course, you get a better shot at it because the boat pressure is not there. On the weekends, man, you can just about jump from boat to boat to boat. And that is a hassle, makes things really, really difficult. I know it's hard to get on a trip, and we've got a few spots left on our Horizon trip out of H&M Landing departing August the 15th. You're going to want to get on that. It's a day-and-a-half trip. I think it's $535. It includes all your meals. I will be there. Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson is threatening to be there. We'll confirm that with him tonight on the live show. That's right. Tackle Shop Confessions tonight, live from Island Fishing Tackle at 6 p.m. You're not going to want to miss that. You can ask any question you want, and you can glean a lot of great knowledge from Sam. But he's planning on being on that trip August the 15th from H&M Land. If you'd like to get on that, you can send our friend Captain Bill Wilkerson a text, and he will help you get on board. Or you can call H&M Landing. H&M is 619-222-1144. August the 15th, Friedman Adventures trip. Let them know that. If you have any trouble with that, Bill's number is 619-985-5179, and you'll be able to get on that way. All right, out there on Tanner and Cortez, we have seen some big yellows biting. The last time we heard from the Freedom, they were up there pushing toward, I don't want to say 100, but they were well over 60. Big fat yellowtail. A lot of that fish on the yo-yo iron. most of it 18 to 25 pounds, some bigger than that. And man, when you're fishing yo-yo iron, you've all seen the video of me throwing one up in the bow on board the Amigo. I fish 100-pound on the yo-yo, but 60, 80 should do you just fine. There's some surface iron fish, there's some dropper loop bait fish, and there's some fly line fish. But man, what a bite on the Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. That is all great stuff, and hopefully that bite's going to continue. A lot of those long-range boys have been out there on that also and doing quite well. Our bite out there near Santa Barbara Island, we've seen bluefin out there. It's still around. We'll see what happens. It got just corroded with boat pressure here recently. It seems like that stuff is MIA right now. It took off on us, but we'll see if it pops up again. And as I pointed out to you, Albert Ponce, he was out near Catalina Island, near the slide east end of Catalina Island, and saw foamers of bluefin tuna. So keep your eyes peeled right now, because there's a lot of BFT roaming around, a lot of yellowfin tuna pushing up the Baja Coast. It's going to get crazier than you could ever believe here at the finish of summer, and I can't wait. San Clemente Island, some decent bass fishing, the sheep's head and whitefish, and some pretty good flurries of smaller grade yellowtail for the most part there at SCI. Also, a lot of surface iron fish there. Also, Catalina Island, kind of hit and miss right now. There's a few yellows there, okay calico bass, fishy sheep's head, whitefish, rockfish, that kind of stuff. Occasional halibut, occasional sea bass. We've been seeing mostly that kind of stuff. Up there in the Channel Islands, we've seen some decent halibut fishing at times, and we've also seen some great sand bass, calico bass, barracuda, island spirit out of Ventura Harbor. Sport fishing's been all over that bite and doing really, really well. The Aloha spirit yesterday, 14 halibut, a yellowtail, and barracuda and rockfish, whitefish, all of that kind of stuff. We continue to see those kinds of scores. If you're in to the bottom bite up there at Santa Barbara Sea Landing, they've had some really excellent fishing on the lingcod. Star Dust yesterday, Santa Barbara, 29 lings and limits of rockfish to go along with it. So really good fishing in terms of all of that. Now let's get to the local situation, coastal fishing. Half, three-quarter day down in San Diego. Wow, they're bass fishing. Calico bass fishing is the best it's been in many, many years. A new seaport with fabulous calico bass fishing, as well as all the local boats down in that neck of the woods. They just continue to hammer out calico bass fishing. And I'll tell you right now, the best thing you can do, besides that really hot bait, is drop down to lighter line. Now, if it's full speed, you might be able to get away with fishing 20, even heavier than that. But man, you go down to 12, 15 pound and you are bit every single time. Those calicos have superior eyesight, and you drop that down to 12-pound fluoro, opsin fluorocarbon, you're going to be in the driver's seat. I will tell you that right now. Great fishing down there in that neck of the woods. Moving you up and down the coast here, Oceanside, Dana Wharf, they've also had some decent calico bass fishing, and there's a little bit of barracuda hanging out in those areas, some bonita, whitefish, rockfish, that kind of stuff. Up here in the Long Beach, San Pedro area, we continue to see good barracuda, sand bass, and calico bass. It's been really, really good. Native Sun with 100 mixed bass. They just missed limits. I think they're about 20 fish shy. They had excellent barracuda fishing to go along with it out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. The Monte Carlo with some good barracuda fishing, and they're also able to fall back on the sculpin. That is good stuff. Dennis Yamamoto talking about making memories for the grandkids. He took the kids out on the Victory out of Long Beach sport fishing, and they had an absolute ball catching barracuda and just having fun with Grandpa and creating more memories for a lifetime. We're all over that. Up there in Redondo, seeing a little bit more bass. Same thing, Marina del Rey. I'm surprised that barracuda hasn't decided to bite there, but plenty of rockfish on the Redondo Special, and up there out of Marina del Rey, nothing wrong with that. And as we mentioned to you, there's been some really excellent fishing going on in terms of the sand and calico bass bite up there in the Ventura Channel Island area in general. Boy, I'll tell you, there's some great stuff going on. It's really exciting to see all of these different types of fish move in. I'm talking to the yellowfin and the dorado. We haven't seen a lot of it here recently, but it's coming because the El Nino is going to usher in warm water, and with it, warm water species will get a change. And I love those changes because you really just never know what's going to happen. As always, it's so great to start my morning, this case Tuesday morning, with all of you. I can't thank you enough for all your great support, for all the likes, for all the subscriptions, for everything you do in terms of sharing these videos with your loved ones. Can't thank you enough on that one. That drive down at Cedros Island, we sent down thousands of pieces of clothing and more to Cedros, continuing thanks to Diego Nuno, deckhand on the Royal Star, whose mom is in Cedros, helping to distribute all of that stuff at the Catholic Church with Padre Saul. It is all really wonderful stuff. All right, thanks, my friends. Oh, hey, and it was my honor yesterday to preside over the marriage of my dear friend, Cruz Soto, and I present to you now Mr. and Mrs. Cruz and Jillian Soto. Hey, have a great day, and as always, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.
Snapping.
Man, is it good to see the sand bass back and biting again. That's Captain Aaron Graham, and he's on board the Native Son out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. You ought to think about joining him really, really soon.
We had a pretty good first stop, and then Ryan on the City of Long Beach called us send over to another area, eating the anchovy, the dropper loop sardine, plastics. You guys are the bass rods the next couple days. That's what we're going to be doing. Light line, 15 and 20 pound test, nothing heavier.
You are looking at the deck of the Mission Bell out of Point Loma Sportfishing in San Diego. They made the run into Mexican waters to the Coronado Islands and had outstanding yellowtail action today. Really good fishing at the Coronado Islands. It seems like a lot of people are focusing their efforts on offshore tuna, but the islands are really cranking out some great fishing. Remember, you do need a passport if you're going to fish at the Coronado Islands. A very short run from Point Loma and a great day for Captain Sean Hardigan and lucky anglers on the Mission Bell. This is such a joyful day because all of the items that we collected and sent to Cedros Island have been handed out, and I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. We literally handed out thousands of pieces of clothing and other essentials to some people who could really use your help. I've got to thank the Friedman Adventures family. That is you, each and every one of you who donated. You made this all possible. Diego Nuno, who is a deckhand on the Royal Star, and his lovely family worked so hard to make this all come together. Ramoncita Higuera from the Abalone Cooperativa, she did so much, including shipping the goods from Ensenada down to Cedros. Ramoncita, mil gracias. And also Phil Capricio, who loaded his yacht full of goods and then transported them over to us so we could truck it all down to this beautiful isla. And also Father, or I should say Padre Saul, down there in the Catholic Church, which was the distribution point for all of these goods. God bless each and every one of you who made this come true, reaching our hands across the border to our brothers and sisters in Mexico to lend a helping hand. I can't express my gratitude enough to you, all of you who helped make this a reality. Take care, my friends. So proud of you. So happy that we were able to accomplish this great deed together. Trip on the El Patron out of 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California, as they have limited out on the bluefin tuna. Great fishing. I just talked to Captain Will, and he said 25 to 40 pound fluorocarbon really worked great. It fired up and bit fantastically. You need to get out on the El Patron. It's adventure. Family member Carl Erickson caught this new state record, a tiger trout, in Woods Canyon Lake in Arizona. It weighed 5 pounds, 15.4 ounces, and measured 23.5 inches long. He caught it on this crawdad crankbait. Congratulations, Carl. Nice going, my friend.